This episode of TRS is brought to you by The Ben Heck Show, Building, Modding, and Electronics, brought to you exclusively by Element 14. Today on the show, we check out the new first-person shooter, Brink.
Totally Rad Show.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Totally Rad Show. We got a great week for you this week. Today, we're going to be talking about the new multiplayer shooter Brink from Bethesda Software.
Tomorrow, we got a brand new segment where we fill in the blank and play a little Rad Libs.
And then on Wednesday, we review a brand new kung fu flick called True Legend.
Thursday, it's that time of the year again. It's time to see whether we can live through another Pirates of the Caribbean movie.
And then Friday, we're back with, what is that?
I don't know what it is.
What is it?
What is that?
What is it?
It's gonna be a fun week.
Dan. Speaking of fun weeks, what about this
What is
background?
that?
This is just sort of old school, Big Trouble in Little China throwback.
Awesome.
Meets Brady Bunch.
Meets Brady Bunch.
Our buddy Will Noble sent this in. He's rocking the backgrounds. You should be like Will Noble. Send us a background at fans@totallyradshow.com.
Will Noble, whose forum signature is the quote from Big Trouble in Little China that I had butchered in our old intro.
Yes,
The
indeed.
colors that never run.
Amazing. I'm gonna go back and watch the making of that again, if we had it somewhere. Whip!
Today we're talking about the video game Brink, which was just released. It's a very interesting release that happened. So Bethesda is publishing the game, but it's created by Splash Damage. These are guys that have a very prolific history creating multiplayer shooters. They created Enemy Territory Quake Wars. They created a lot of the multiplayer components of other games. And Brink actually bears a lot in common with Enemy Territory Quake Wars. It is a objective-based multiplayer game. There is what they tout to be a campaign mode, but it is basically all built around a multiplayer component. So you have a persistent character or characters that you can level up, and some of the new things brought to the table with Brink are the fact that you can change your class at any time. There are 4 distinct classes, and they do different things. And you can go to a command station at any time and change your class based on the needs of the mission at any time. The game tries to give you dynamic mission objectives that are based on the main story of the mission, but also moment to moment there's sub-objectives that the game on the fly creates or changes based on the needs at the moment. Also, there is this parkour traversal element where you can hold down a sprint button and basically just push forward, and whatever you come in contact with, you'll climb over or maneuver around. So it really simplifies that kind of thing. It has a jump button, but you don't even really need to use it because you're constantly just able to traverse over things based on your body type. Now, the reason I said it was an interesting release is because it's been problematic from a technical level. Of course, PlayStation Network's been down, so the PlayStation 3 version of the game has been basically unplayable. And the PC and Xbox 360 games had a day 1 patch that was sent out, and there's been lag issues with some of the things. All that being said, the game itself is pretty interesting, I think, from what they're trying to accomplish. Alex, did you think the game was successful conceptually? Did you have fun with it?
Interesting. Interesting you posed it that way. I definitely like what this game is trying to do. You know, we were sort of talking before the show about how Mike just gave me the rap signal, so I don't know if I was too excited. He was like, we talked already, rap. No, we talked earlier about how, with Global Agenda, originally, when they had that sort of like World of Warcraft classic MMO type beginning, and then it was like, oh, it's just these sort of like multiplayer events. I needed more, and then I realized, there are games like Call of Duty or any of those types of shooters where you play through the story and then all you end up doing, and that's 10 hours or so whatever, and then for the rest of the months that you play that game, you're just playing the multiplayer component, sort of like GA. Well, this is that. This is just the multiplayer component. Saying that the campaign mode is a campaign mode is a little bait and switch. It's just a little story mode that plays
bookends.
before
Like Mortal Kombat,
before
funny
you start the match. Because the other thing to note is the players who are not watching that campaign intro are already playing the game. You're just waiting in this never world. So when you hit it, like objectives are half done, and you're like, oh, they've been playing. I was getting the story.
And it fills in bots. Basically, you don't have to control any of that. It fills in bots where need be. It lets you jump in. And I think where it differs really from some of the games you're explaining is that the mission objectives, whereas in Call of Duty, for example, you would have a capture the flag type moment. Well, in this game, you would have a capture the flag that leads into a area control moment that leads into an escort mission. And it's all back-to-back part of the same thing.
And the problem I have is just that very thing, which is I hate some of those things. I never go and try those games. Like I'll try them and be like, oh right, I hate that type of gameplay. So I never seek it out. Whereas in these, you're sort of force-fed these moments that, and really I had major lag issues. It was not responsive. It really felt like I was sort of playing, you know, Quake on dial-up back in the day, where I felt like I've been shooting that guy in the head, but the computer isn't registering it because the internet's slow. It's not a very good shooter, in my opinion. I didn't really have fun shooting people. And then more to the point, I don't think that the classes were all that fun. You know, I was an engineer. Yeah, you can hop swap them, but I was leveling engineer. And you sort of throw down a turret. You're lucky to get it down. And as soon as it's down, somebody comes around the corner and blows it up, and that's your turret. And it's sort of like. And it really sort of, I mean, the sort of funny thing about it was I was having such little enjoyment that I actually went back and started playing Global Agenda, which I enjoyed better. Yeah, to scratch that itch.
Did you ever try playing completely offline?
Oh yeah, I tried the challenges. I tried.
How did you find the bots to be?
Bots?
Yeah.
For the most part, you know. I didn't even really think about it. I just kind of was like, it's maybe a person, maybe it's not. But I didn't really care. Okay. But it wasn't as enjoyable as I wanted it to be, and not as enjoyable as most other shooter multiplayer events that I've had. So,
Daniel, you love traversal.
Indeed.
You like helping people out in multiplayer environments. I think that this game is much more built around playing your role than it is shooting people. And I think a lot of the complaints from the online community at this point is that a lot of people are playing it like Call of Duty, where they're just trying to do a deathmatch, and there's no deathmatch in this game. It's all objective-based. What was your experience playing Brink?
I actually thought there was a lot of cool elements in the game. They didn't all come together for me, but I do want to speak about the cool that is in the game. One thing, it's this parkour traversal element. A is awesome, and I wish that were used in. It may even be now in other games. Like we may just have it in because it's fairly simple.
It's extremely simple.
And it works, and it makes. Like I would love to just always be able to do that. I would love to, like, when I have obstacles in my way, I would love to, like, not have to run around them. I could just run up them, and that should be in games now as a staple. But parkour is this French term for free running, and the game feels very French to me. It feels like a Luc Besson produced movie. It feels like District B13 in a very strong way. The character designs, they're so unique and original, very European. I say French, you say British.
Well, I mean, it's same splash damage.
Yeah,
UK.
No, I know, but I'm saying, like, I love those character models. They are so awesome, and they were really fun to personalize, more so than any other personalization engine in a game.
And that's a big part of Brink.
Yeah, huge part.
Yeah.
It was exciting. It was exciting and fun. To be successful in a match, to then unlock cooler looking things and stuff like that. I really enjoyed being a medic. I wanted to love being a spy. I never quite clocked into how I was useful as a spy, as an operative. I played most of it with bots. because it sort of defaulted in solo mode, which is you just play the whole. There isn't even hot swapping people. It is sort of like a campaign. You do just play the game, but you're playing multiplayer matches. Like it was sort of like not all of one thing. I wish that we could have all played together because I think. While the bots are good, and I was playing with teammates, I mean, it's funny how many people choose to be a medic because you can sort of do more as a medic as that class. You would think more people would be soldier classes because that's more standard first-person shooter. But you can actually do less as a soldier.
You can be anything at any time, yeah.
But I would like go to the menu and like see what there's too much of, and then be the other thing. But it was difficult. We would get stuck on things all the time. Getting past things took a very long time.
Me being you and a bunch of AI.
Either me and an AI or even me with other people. Though I did have a lot of lag issues, so I didn't play as much like that. I think though, if you're playing with your friends and you're coordinating, I think that's probably where the fun would kick in.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Yeah. I agree with you big time on the art direction of this game. I love the look of these characters. I really liked, as you said, the customization. You can customize your guns in a really cool way. You can customize the look of your character. And as you said, the look of these guys is different from any other game. There's sort of a look to first-person shooter avatars that gets tired. And
I kind of wish that it was a third-person shooter because of the fact that I could see my guy. Because I knew my guy was awesome, I just never saw him.
But it's cool how it puts that guy into the cutscenes.
Yeah.
For what they are. I don't think the cutscenes are particularly good. It's mostly just talking heads that don't really give you any context. I think the campaign mode is really kind of a throwaway, and it's too bad. As you said, it's very much like a fighting game where it's just these bookends of meaningless context.
Yeah.
I too ran into lag issues. Hopefully it's something they'll work on. I think this game has a lot of potential. It's some of the most fun I've had playing a multiplayer game, and some of the least fun I've had playing a single-player game. It's really not much of a single-player game, but I loved having those side objectives to do at any given time. It's funny that you guys played the two classes that I was playing mostly, which was medic and engineer. And I loved being able to buff people. Engineer can buff their weapon damage, medic can buff their health. I loved that stuff. And it does a really great job of communicating to you different kinds of things to be doing at any given time.
Definitely.
You know, resurrect the nearest guy, all that stuff really feels useful. And you definitely get a lot of XP by doing all of that too, so you don't ever feel like you're missing out on the fun. It's problematic in that the bots really did feel like bots, and as intelligent as they may be at performing individually their roles, I would get stuck on objectives when I was not playing online that if there was humans, we would all be doing something. We would all be doing it the way that would win. And these guys, you can't communicate to them in any way. Please just follow the guy with the briefcase, please, because he's dying, and you guys are capturing command posts. We don't need to do that anymore.
I don't know. I think that some humans would be doing that too.
Well, that's a big complaint.
I think that's
online.
Like we need to.
So did I.
Yeah.
And that bag thing was just, I hated every minute of that. Because I was like, why is not everybody here? Why? We're all human. Why is not everybody
That's
here?
why if we were all together and you're like, okay, and we, like then you can like actually have fun strategizing and like, no, I think what we need to do is you follow that, like that stuff would have been the meat and potatoes of it.
I really wish that the parkour stuff was more useful.
Yeah.
That's why I wanted to be this. That's why, and I did all the parkour challenges. That was so much fun. And then the spy is the guy who could really utilize that. But I never really knew. A couple times I impersonated, and then like, oh, maybe I'll be here. But I didn't.
Yeah, I would impersonate.
Operative.
I would impersonate, and then I'd be like, so I can just kind of go anywhere, and then I would like run up and be like, I guess I shoot you, and I would like shoot him, and as soon as I would shoot him, it was like everybody was just like, oh, there's a guy in the middle there.
But see, if we were coordinating, someone goes as a spy, you're right there, and then when you guys do the other thing, and they're shooting you, you go, you know.
The engineer stuff was the stuff that I enjoyed the most, although again,
building turrets, dropping
but again,
landmines.
I was like, that's done so much better as the engineer in Global Agenda that it literally made me go, I'm going to go play Global Agenda.
Yeah, it's unfortunate. I think this game had a lot of potential and some really interesting ideas, specifically about communicating objectives and making you like doing that stuff all on the fly, but
this could very well have been an amazing addition to a fun single-player experience with these great characters and this great character design. If it had literally been the multiplayer that came with this cool French/British, you know, cool story that you played through single player. Even if it was a 6-hour single player, it doesn't matter.
I agree.
It would have been.
And I feel like the parkour would have made more sense in that context in the single player experience.
Anyway,
so Brink.
All right, everybody, remember to stick around for this day in Rad history, but first, we want to thank our sponsors. Join modding wizard Ben Heck and his friends as they build and modify a host of amazing community-inspired creations. Check out the new episode of the Ben Heck Show, where Ben mods some Xbox controllers for the game for the Games for Health conference. I didn't even know there was a conference for Game for Health. That's nice. Ben builds 3 new controllers, all with the goal of helping kids and their parents play video games together. Also, watching this episode for Ben's incredible Sean Connery impersonation. That happens, which of course you can see right here, revision3.com/TBHS. Thank you guys so much for watching. We will see you tomorrow.
Don't forget to send those backgrounds in. Fans at TotallyRadShow.com is the place.
Tomorrow, we introduce a new segment called Rad Libs.
Today is May 16th, and on this day in Rad history, in 1986, Top Gun was released to the masses.
And all was right with the world.
The highway to the danger zone was paved.
Yep.
Paved with high fives.
Chest-bumping volleyball.
That's right.
That was sent in by @Drew Spencer.
That's so long ago.
It's great. It's
But also, I feel like I was
almost
so
20
young
years
when
ago.
that came out.
You were. We all were.
I was 5.
Those were the days.